While everyone saw him as a deserter who stayed behind, Nanzhang wasn't hiding out of fear. He chose to train alone, leveling faster than anyone else thanks to his special talent system. This world had long been invaded by alien monsters from outer space. At the start of the invasion, humanity suffered heavy losses. Firearms and even nuclear weapons turned into little more than glorified water pistols. Casualties reached millions in a single year. But then, something changed. The energy released by the invaders awakened special skills in humans. For the first time, humanity gained the power to fight back against these alien forces known as the 10,000 races. Nanzhang remembers the memorial held for those who lost their lives in the ongoing war. A veteran commander who had lost an arm gave a passionate speech, honoring fallen soldiers and consoling grieving families. His words moved even the toughest soldiers to tears. The recruits listening to this speech felt their spirits ignite. Many begged to be sent to the front lines immediately. But Nanzhang didn't share their excitement. He felt sick just thinking about what was coming. When his turn came, the officer in charge reviewed his application. With a raised brow, he asked if Nanzhang wished to head to the front line. Midway through, Nanzhang gave a firm answer, no. The officer's eyes widened in shock. Instead, Nanzhang requested to be sent to logistics. The atmosphere erupted. Logistics was for women, children, and non-combatants. Choosing it over battle made him look like a coward. The officer tried reasoning with him. Nanzhang's combat record from the academy was excellent. His application was impressive. It made no sense for someone like him to waste away in logistics. But Nanzhang refused to budge. He wasn't going to the front line to die. His academy peers roared in outrage. They reminded him of the time he risked his life during a beast tide to save someone, back when he hadn't even awakened yet. Before the argument could escalate further, the veteran commander himself stepped in. He declared that going to the front line wasn't mandatory, but he dismissed Nanzhang's choice as a waste. Coming from the commander, such a remark was humiliating. Just like that, Nanzhang was branded a coward who had disgraced his family and country. The very next day, the recruits marched to the front. And honestly, everyone could already guess how badly things would end for these poor NPCs. Meanwhile, Nanzhang checked his phone and nearly dropped it. He was trending on every news platform. Online comments shredded him apart. Internet trolls feasted on his so-called cowardice. But here comes the plot twist. The real reason he avoided the front line wasn't fear. In his previous life, he had enlisted. He'd risen through the ranks, even becoming a strategist against the 10,000 races. Yet despite all his efforts, humanity still fell. That was the end. And then, for some unknown reason, he was sent back in time. But this time, he awakened a talent system. Beast taming, elemental mastery, berserk mode, necromancy, formation magic. While everyone has talent and skill, he has 5. Basically, Nanzhang had become a walking cheat code, a package deal that could rival Sung Jinwoo himself. If he maxed these talents, he alone could protect the world. But rushing to the front line now would only slow his growth. Staying behind gave him the best chance to upgrade. That's why his mission began at the logistics center. Upon arrival, he spots a workers. He noticed how short-staffed the place was. Most people had gone to the battlefield, leaving only a handful behind. He volunteered to help. The female officer lit up with excitement and quickly led him to the changing area. One of the older women workers found it strange that someone his age was joining logistics. Then realization struck. She pulled out her phone, showed a colleague, and revealed his identity, Nanzhang, the coward who had avoided the front line. In her mind, he was only here to soothe his guilty conscience. At the trial grounds, the female officer handed him an alloy sword. Nanzhang accepted it with calm gratitude. She secretly felt relieved. Thanks to him, supply operations might finally improve. Watching him, her cheeks flushed. His quiet, stoic attitude only made him seem more attractive. But the older worker ruined the moment. She cut in, reminding everyone that this was the same coward who ran from the front line. The others doubted someone like him could handle mutant beasts. Inside the chamber, Nanzhang activated the AI system and ordered the trial to begin at level 1. The gate creaked open. Mutated beasts flooded in like a raging tide. Once normal wild animals, they had twisted into monsters under the invaders' energy. Nanzhang tightened his grip on the sword. He was the only thing standing between these beasts and the future. This was just the beginning. It was time to start upgrading his beast-taming talent. Our boy cuts down a mutant beast, and with its fall comes a source stone. These stones act as points that fuel his talent system. Right now, his beast-taming skill sits at level 1, with 0 beasts under his command. Despite carrying a few injuries, as long as he avoids attacks carefully, handling these creatures isn't impossible. Meanwhile, the 2 women from before remain outside, deliberately skipping their break just to wait for him. The female officer, Xiao Lu, approaches and asks why they would give up their lunch. Neither responds. Sister Wang confidently declares that the boy will surely try to sneak out, while Sister Li calmly gestures that she'll catch him red-handed if that ever happens. Xiao Lu can only sigh helplessly after learning both of their intentions. Just then, a notification rings out from the trial ground. Xiao Lu and Sister Wang freeze in shock, while Sister Li misreads their expressions, right before bumping straight into our boy's massive chest. She falls back, stunned, her expression matching theirs. Out from what feels like hell itself, the boy emerges. The announcement confirms their disbelief. He cleared the first stage in record time and slaughtered more than 2,000 beasts. Our guy, a man of few words, he simply walks past them, leaving behind nothing but a mountain of mutant beast corpses for them to process. Later, in the bath, he takes the time to explore the talent system. The discovery is shocking. He now has the ability to tame up to 2,000 mutant beasts. Yet his beast-taming skill remains at level 1. He quickly makes plans to raise it further inside the trial ground. News from the front lines broadcasts across the screen. Based on the events unfolding, the boy foresees tragedy ahead. The defensive line is on the verge of collapse. 2 known prodigies, one wielding lightning and the other flames, are predicted to fall. This confirms that everything is unfolding differently this time, likely due to his regression. The clock is ticking, and now it becomes a race against time. Back at the trial ground, the sisters chatter away, oblivious. Sister Wang notes that the boy clearing the first level so quickly is an achievement few can match. Sister Li doubts his method of wiping out every single beast at once, thinking it isn't practical. Their conversation drifts to the idea that the boy might rest or recover from his injuries before proceeding. But instead, he returns to the trial ground. Even more shocking, he heads straight for the second level. Sister Li's jaw drops as though she misheard. Snapping back to her senses, she reminds him of his injuries, while Officer Xiao Lu steps in to warn that the next beasts are larger and stronger. They suggest he find someone to assist him, but he refuses, determined to handle everything alone. Sister Li can't help but voice her doubts. If he's truly this capable, why didn't he enlist at the front line? Even Xiao Lu shares the same thought. The scene shifts to the second level. This time, the opponents are mutant oxen. Despite their massive frames, the creatures dodge his attacks with surprising agility. One slips into his blind spot and lands a brutal hit, sending him stumbling like trash. Assessing the situation, he knows one more strike like that could be fatal with his current injuries. The oxen circle him, and to his irritation, they begin to taunt him. Realization strikes. These beasts, with the brain cells of ants, are actually mocking him. The audacity. His blood boils. This time he stops holding back. His eyes blaze crimson. As the first ox charges, he leaps aside, seizing the moment to land on its head. With a single strike, he kills it instantly. The other oxen freeze in fear, witnessing something they can't comprehend. From the corpse, he gains a source stone, and at last his beast-taming skill advances to level 2. Without hesitation, he activates it. All the oxen collapse at once, brought to their knees by the new command. With them perfectly arranged before him, the slaughter begins. It's time to cut them down like chickens and push his skill to level 3. The logistics center buzzes with life, all thanks to our boy. During his time in the trial ground, he pushed his beast taming skill to level 6. The number of beasts he can tame still caps at 2,000, but the sheer efficiency of this path proves far superior to throwing himself at the front line. The moment feels right. Time to step outside the city and tame wild mutant beasts. Before leaving, male workers approach, joking about pulling overtime if our boy plans another round of beast extermination. But instead of agreeing, he rises to his feet and states he has other plans. Sisterly assumes this means he's finally giving up, which only fuels the worker's anger. Another worker quickly snaps back, pointing out that thanks to our boy's efforts, their progress has skyrocketed. The argument grows heated until Officer Xiao Lu steps forward. She approaches our boy directly, thanking him for his hard work and telling him to take all the time he needs. The unexpected concern catches him off guard. He acknowledges her words, which is enough to send a faint blush across her face. Later, the city grows tense as trucks arrive, carrying wave after wave of the injured from the front line. The sight leaves our boy unsettled. Too many wounded, too fast. It can only mean the 5th defense line is about to collapse. Even worse, the military launches missile strikes. While the public cheers, thinking this is a turning point, our boy sees the truth. This is desperation, not victory. In his mind, the fall of another defense line is inevitable. That night, he gears up in winter combat gear and heads out beyond the city walls. The scene shifts to a dangerous stretch outside the safe zone. A truck carrying medicinal supplies breaks down in mutant beast territory. With the vehicle immobile, the squad decides to abandon it temporarily, planning to return later. As they gather the supplies, someone notices a figure running in the distance. It's our boy, charging headfirst into danger. The squad shouts warnings, but he only accelerates. A blonde soldier hesitates in concern, but her comrade reminds her of their mission. The medicine must reach the wounded, and they lack the weapons for battle. They can't afford distractions. Just as they prepare to move out, the ground quakes. Their comrade outside vanishes, slain in an instant. Steel wolves have spotted them, surrounding the squad with glowing eyes. Weapons are drawn, tension spikes. At the same time, our boy senses the commotion. He realizes he's deep inside Steel Wolf territory and is now surrounded as well. Back with the medicine squad, panic brews. While reloading, one soldier proposes a desperate plan: create a distraction and flee. Meanwhile, our boy engages the pack alone. Mid-fight, he spots the leader. Instantly, he forms a plan. If he can tame the alpha, the rest will follow. A larger steel wolf steps forward, radiating a crushing aura. Our boy responds by unleashing his beast-taming talent. The ground cracks under the pressure as countless wolves collapse, subdued. But the alpha resists, its roar shaking the air, trying to break free of the taming aura. The struggle escalates. Ignoring the smaller wolves, our boy locks on the king itself. After a fierce clash of wills, he succeeds. The Steel Wolf King bows. On the other side, the medicine squad continues wasting precious rounds. When told to start the truck and flee, the blonde soldier slams the ignition, but silence answers back. The engine refuses. Both realize they're completely cooked. Just as the wolves charge in for the kill, the assault halts. Mid-step, every wolf freezes. Confusion floods the squad. The blonde stares in disbelief, whispering why the wolves suddenly look cute. Moments later, the entire pack howls and turns in unison, sprinting toward a single point. The squad follows their eyes toward our boy. The revelation hits hard. He just tamed the entire pack. Over 1,000 wolves now obey him. A display of beast-taming power beyond outrageous. Checking his system, our boy confirms the numbers. 1,000 wolves successfully tamed. But taming any further requires more source stones, and each upgrade demands more than before. Understanding this, he resolves to use his resources wisely. Turning to his new pack, he issues 2 simple commands: disperse, and never attack humans. The wolves scatter into the wild, carrying his mark. There are countless more mutant beasts waiting to be subdued, and for the grand war against the 10,000 race, he'll need 10 million under his command. Just as determination hardens, a notification flashes on his phone. A private message from Officer Xiao Lu calls for an emergency meeting. Confusion flickers across his face, returning to Yi City trial grounds. A high-ranking military officer appears, his expression twisted with frustration. The city is still struggling to handle higher-level mutant beasts, and his patience is wearing thin. Another officer steps forward, cautiously explaining the complications. Handling high-level mutants isn't simple, and manpower is already stretched to the limit. But the moment he dares to mention needing more time, the superior cuts him down with sharp words. Soldiers are starving on the front lines, and excuses won't feed them. He demands immediate processing of mutant beasts, starting with the highest levels first. The low-ranking officer quickly backtracks, retreating in fear. That's when Officer Xiao Lu steps in. It isn't about refusing the work. The truth is Yi City simply isn't capable of dealing with beasts of that level. The superior scoffs, mocking the entire city. He sneers that Yi City dares to talk about responsibility, even though it produced the very first deserter. Those words finally push Sister Lee past her limit. Her voice trembles with fury as she reminds him that her 3 sons and husband died on the front lines, giving everything for the war. Yet here this fool stands, ranting about responsibility while they work day and night without rest. The superior's face twists in disgust. One of his guards steps forward, ready to silence her with force. But before he can move, a blur flashes past. Our boy appears, landing a crushing blow that sends the guard sprawling. He knocks the light out of the fool, both literally and figuratively. The workers breathe out in relief at his arrival. Meanwhile, the low-ranking officer stares in shock. A single strike to defeat a level 5 awakener? That could only mean one thing. Our boy must already be awakened. The superior, enraged, draws a gawk and points it at him for daring to disrespect authority. Our boy stands calm, his expression unreadable. Recognition flickers in his eyes. The man before him is Lin Yukai, the very traitor from his previous life. The one who trafficked military supplies and caused devastating losses on the front lines. It all makes sense now. Lin Yukai is here because Yi City processes beasts faster than other places, especially high-level ones that most cities can't handle. But his time will come. For now, this is an opportunity. An opportunity to drain the traitor dry and use him to level up his talent system. The workers rally behind our boy, supporting him without hesitation. Lin Yukai suddenly finds himself cornered. But then his eyes narrow. Realization dawns. This young man is the deserter from Yi City. His lips curl, ready to issue an execution order. Our boy only lets out a soft chuckle. He reveals the truth. He is the one responsible for processing the mutant beasts. In other words, the only person capable of shouldering this impossible task. Lin Yukai falters. The boy not only understands the extreme difficulty of handling higher-level mutants, he even explains why other trial grounds are collapsing under the pressure. His knowledge leaves Lin stunned. Still, this looks like the perfect chance to exploit. If this boy is willing to shoulder the burden, then let him. He sends over 5,000 high-level mutant beasts, wrapping it up with a military pledge. His warning is clear. Fail, and face the consequences. Then he turns and departs. The workers, however, grow restless. Anxiety ripples through them. A military pledge is no small matter. Failure means death. Our boy's thoughts sharpen. 4th-level mutant beasts aren't just strong. They come with hybrid defenses and specialize in disturbing mental states. Exactly the kind of fuel his berserk talent needs. The plan is simple. Drain the dog. Use him until he's empty, and end him once his purpose is served. The very next day, the high-level mutant beasts are shipped in. Officer Xiao Lu oversees the inspection while the chubby superior, who looks like he hasn't skipped a single Starbucks run, begins reading out the military pledge. The pledge drops like a bomb. Our boy is tasked with killing 5,000 level 4 mutant beasts in just 1 week. On top of that, he is charged with insubordination and inciting a workers' riot, a laughable accusation, but one that comes with deadly consequences. The pledge ends with a cruel clause. Failure to complete the mission means execution by firing squad. Yet the boy shows no reaction. The charges sound like fabricated nonsense, a death sentence wrapped in official words, but his face remains calm. The chubby officer mistakes this silence for fear. With smug arrogance, he declares just his duty and admits he is looking forward to the failure, promising to savor his execution. The boy simply accepts the pledge, sparing only a cold glare at the pompous fool. After all, the man is nothing more than an errand boy pretending to hold authority. His escort almost steps in, but the officer waves him off. He is already savoring the thought of the boy's death. The scene shifts. Handling level 4 mutant beasts is no simple task. A staff member explains that they require anesthesia masks to restrain them, yet supplies are scarce since most are shipped off to frontline hospitals. The boy takes note of this quietly while the officers continue discussing him. When the escort questions the boy's confidence, the chubby officer sneers. He explains that level 4 mutant beasts can attack the mind itself, warping thoughts and driving people insane. Only those with psychic powers can stand against them, and even he who possesses such powers isn't fully confident. His expression is like a judge delivering a verdict. The boy will inevitably lose his mind, then die. To him, that is a good outcome. It means the beasts can be kept for their own use. The escort falls silent, unwilling to argue. Inside, the boy prepares for battle. He knows level 4 mutant beasts specialize in mental assaults. Their illusions strike first before they unleash their main attack. One such beast presents an illusion, trying to ensnare him, but he tears through it instantly and kills the creature in the same motion. Despite his injuries, he secures source stones from the kill. However, none of their malignant energy has yet fueled his berserk talent. As he considers a new strategy, a dark purple energy suddenly coils around him. It infiltrates his mind, whispering, mocking, calling his attempt to save humanity pathetic. Annoyed, the boy tears the malign energy apart, refusing to submit. The time has finally come to feed his Azure talent. Unlike other abilities, each talent has its own method of growth, and for this one, cursed energy is the key. He begins absorbing it. The process racks his body with unbearable pain, but he endures, his resolve unshaken. Our boy looks exhausted in the next scene. Earlier that same day, chaos brews inside Lin Yotsai's estate. The world might be falling apart, yet this man worries only about making money. The man would probably try to charge rent at the apocalypse shelter if he could. Just thinking about it feels draining. His situation is complicated. Demands are high, the front lines are brutal, and he knows he can't keep this up for long. The only option is to make as much profit as possible before things collapse. On top of that, his so-called capable subordinates are greedy, and a military investigator is breathing down his neck. No doubt about it. His head is pounding from the pressure. As he racks his brain for ways to deal with higher-level mutant beasts, his phone buzzes. A report from Yi City comes in. At first, Lin Yukai brushes it off, doubting anyone there could actually complete the task. But then the voice on the other end drops a bomb that makes his face go pale. The impossible has happened. Our boy really did it. He slaughtered 5,000 level 4 mutant beasts within the deadline. Lin Yotsai's mood flips instantly. He bursts with excitement, asking about our boy's condition. The reply eases his nerves. The kid is fine, just a little exhausted. Relieved, he orders his men to follow the usual procedure. The subordinate acknowledges the command, though the chubby officer standing nearby looks sour. Doubt eats at the officer. He had personally confirmed before that our boy had no psychic powers. So how could he possibly accomplish something this insane? Meanwhile, our boy checks his system. His Azura and Berserk talents have reached level 5, and a new skill has unlocked, Alloy Evil Blade. With it, he can fuse special properties into weapon strikes, delivering blows that ignore defense for 5 whole seconds. 5 seconds might not sound like much, but in manhwa time, that's basically forever. Both his physical and mental abilities have grown tremendously thanks to his talents, though he hasn't quite hit level 6 yet. Still, it feels like the right time to tame higher-level beasts. Just then, Sisterly starts her usual antics, dragging her friend along for support. The chubby officer frowns, clearly annoyed. On the surface, he looks irritated, but thanks to the heightened perception from his Azura talent, our boy senses hostility. Yes, mister. Chubby isn't just annoyed. He's an ability user, and he's plotting something nasty. His escort notices immediately and intervenes, calmly reminding him of Lin Yotsai's direct orders. Even if the boy seems suspicious, they must wait until he outlives his usefulness before disposing of him. He also warns that beast residue energy could mess with the officer's powers if he acts rashly. But the chubby officer is too angry to listen. Without warning, he unleashes his psychic powers. Our boy stays calm, recognizing the assault as a mental attack. The officer thinks he has the advantage, but he couldn't be more wrong. This is the perfect chance for our boy to test his own mental strength. When the officer opens his eyes again, panic grips him. Instead of invading the boy's mind, he finds himself trapped in a pitch-black void. Confusion hits. How did the situation flip like this? Anxiety builds. This wasn't supposed to happen. He was supposed to be the intruder, not the hostage. That's when our boy's presence fills the void. His mental energy is laced with dark, malignant power. The kind that screams, you messed with the wrong dude. The officer's worldview shatters. He had checked before. This boy had no psychic abilities. So how is it possible not only to have them now, but to wield such overwhelming strength in such a short time? The boy stares him down like an ant crawling in his territory. Since the fool dared to trespass into his mind, he decides to leave him a parting gift. Outside, the workers watch in shock as the officer suddenly loses control. In their eyes, he looks like he's gone insane. They can't see what really happened. Only our boy knows he overloaded the officer's mind with beast-tainted energy until his sanity snaps. The escort steps forward with a heavy sigh, explaining it away. To the workers, he says the officer was influenced by beast residue energy. Before anyone can react, he clenches his fist and delivers a devastating blow. The officer's head bursts like a melon. Silence falls across the camp. The escort offers a brief apology, explaining that it was safer to end the madness before he harmed someone. After inspecting our boy and finding nothing suspicious beyond exhaustion, he instructs everyone to continue their work. Then he leaves to report the incident back to Lin Yukai. In the end, the chubby fool brought death upon himself. Our boy, however, lets a familiar smirk spread across his face. The encounter has pushed his Azura talent to the next level. In the next scene, our boy wakes up in a hospital room with workers gathered around. It turns out he has been unconscious for 48 hours. The moment he opens his eyes, Sisterly quickly instructs everyone to return to work. Once alone with him, she begins her report. He first asks about Lin Yukai, wondering if he had sent a beast. Sisterly shakes her head, adding that half of their staff has been reassigned to other factories, while demand from the front line have doubled. During the time he was out, the military lost the 9th defense line and was forced back to the 8th. The battlefield situation is grim. So grim that Sister Lee's expression alone speaks volumes. The mighty level 7 lightning powerhouse, known as the Son of Thunder, has lost an arm. Meanwhile, the level 6 flame user made the ultimate sacrifice for the country. Our boy expected such events would happen eventually, but they arrived much earlier than in his previous life. Sisterly continues her report. The death of the chubby officer has been explained. The cause traced to an infiltration of lingering malignant energy. With this, everyone under suspicion is cleared and safe. But then comes the most crucial part of her report, words that immediately put him on edge. Before she can continue, Officer Xiao Lu enters mid-conversation. She carries surprising news. He has been appointed as the new chief of the logistics center. Handing him the appointment letter, she watches his shock unfold. Sisterly chimes in, explaining this is the most important part of her report. She even apologizes for her poor treatment of him during their first meeting, with the others nodding in agreement. Becoming chief, however, is far from a joyful promotion. It is a heavy responsibility. With the logistics staff halved and the military's demands doubled, it's like being promoted to manager only to realize the office printer is already on fire. Xiao Lu, trying to keep it real, admits she hopes he has some miracle solution. He falls into deep thought. The efficiency of the workers cannot be increased any further, so he must rely on his own skills to boost productivity. In truth, this position is a blessing in disguise. It will give him leverage against Lin Yukai when the time comes. Noticing his calm, Xiao Lu frowns in confusion, thinking the superiors are being unreasonable. But our boy cuts her off. His declaration shocks everyone. Even with their protests and concerns about his health, he assures them there is no need to worry. He would not accept this position if he were not confident he could handle it. His conviction draws cheers and full support from a crowd. Amidst the celebration, he suddenly notices a shadowy figure passing by. His instincts sharpen immediately. That person definitely isn't hospital staff. Once everyone leaves, he follows the trail outside. Just as the figure seems to vanish, a cold click echoes behind his head. A gun is aimed at him. The stranger never expected him to follow. As the figure turns, it reveals a woman. Her eyes burn with suspicion as she demands answers. She questions him about the orders from Lin Yukai and the next batch of mutant beasts. He brushes it off, telling her to ask those directly involved since he knows nothing. But her tone sharpens. She suspects him of being an accomplice. Her accusation creates the perfect opening. Our boy activates his Azura skill, boosting his defenses instantly. She unleashes a round of bullets, but they bounce harmlessly off him. He narrows his eyes, wondering where she gathered such flawed intel, insisting she has the wrong person. Still, she presses, demanding to know why he is helping Lin Yukai. On the surface, it may look that way, but the truth is different. While carrying out these tasks, he has been growing stronger. Even if Lin Yukai is a traitor and a scumbag, he remains his superior, for now. The woman is stunned at how much he knows about Lin Yukai. After a pause, she makes a bold proposal to work together and take Lin Yukai down. He stares at her extended hand. After a brief silence, he rejects her offer outright, leaving no room for negotiation. The lady's tone suddenly shifts, eyeing him suspiciously. Was he about to stir up even more trouble? But he responds with a stern edge, making it clear this isn't the time to deal with Lin Yukai, and certainly not by her hands. He presses her, asking if she's even thought about the consequences. Of course, she hasn't. So he breaks it down like a teacher explaining math to a lazy student. To handle Lin Yukai, the methods boil down to two options: assassination or rooting him out from within. But assassination is never that simple. If multiple people are involved, eliminating them all becomes nearly impossible. And that's assuming the attempt even succeeds. As for digging him out internally, if word spreads that the military is fighting among themselves, especially with the front line in crisis, the result would be devastating. Discord would spread through the ranks, leading to chaos from the rear. Basically free drama for the enemies. The weight of his words leaves her speechless. She finally asks how he plans to proceed. His answer shocks her. He intends to handle everything alone. She blurts out her distrust, reminding him that he's known as a deserter. If she couldn't deal with Lin Yukai, what chance did he have? He doesn't back down. With confidence, he reveals his rapid growth, reaching this level of strength in just a few days. The challenge in his voice makes her hesitate before speaking again. But his words spark another thought. Could it be that he stayed behind intentionally, all to grow stronger? Seizing the moment, he reassures her once more that he'll take full responsibility. Reluctant but cornered by his determination, she agrees, on one condition: success is the only option. He accepts, but requests one thing in return: that she take charge of supplying him with mutant beasts. She's taken aback. Given his current strength, he isn't weak, so why demand more? A chilling thought crosses her mind. Was he planning to turn against humanity, hiding his growth in secret? But his answer cuts through her doubts. His resolve is firm. Everything he does is to save humanity. That kind of conviction is impossible to question. With that, he turns to leave. Though uneasy about the situation, she can sense one thing. He isn't lying. A few days later, Lin Yukai personally delivers a cargo of mutant beasts. Unlike before, these aren't low-level creatures. Almost all of them hover dangerously close to level 5. Officer Xiao Lu's concern is immediate. Just level 4 mutants had nearly pushed him to exhaustion. But he stands firm, confident that he can handle it. He's like a man about to farm experience point instead of fighting for his life. Lin Yukai, on the other hand, is practically rubbing his hands like a villain who just found a loophole. To him, this isn't just business, it's opportunity. Our boy isn't corrupt like the dead fat officer who always took kickbacks. Add to that the sudden drop of the military investigation, and this becomes a gold mine for Lin Yukai. If the kid pulls it off, it's profits all the way. He even contemplates awarding him a medal if he performs well. But our boy just shoots him a side glance, offering no reply before getting to work. Lin Yukai, realizing he won't get conversation out of him, excuses himself and leaves. Meanwhile, a faint smirk curls on our boy's lips. The time has come to upgrade his Azura talent. And while he's at it, it's the perfect chance to test the alloy evil blade. Inside the trial ground, he unleashes himself completely. His strength surges, and with every kill, his killing intent grows sharper. One thing is clear, he's not just leveling up. He's turning into a walking nightmare. Battlefield report. The 8th defense line has collapsed. Casualty numbers are still being counted. Meanwhile, our boy is in full berserk mode, slashing through mutant beasts like a one-man storm. His routine is simple: kill, eat, rest, repeat. A cycle that doesn't break. Finally, the long-awaited moment arrives. His Azura talent hits maximum level. A terrifying energy radiates from his body, dark and oppressive. Without hesitation, he unleashes his ultimate Azura skill, Hell on Earth. With a single swing of his blade, an earth-shattering explosion engulfs the battlefield. When the dust clears, he realizes the skill is far stronger than before, its destructive power magnified by his partial transformation. After testing its limits, he calmly deactivates Azura mode. With his Source Stone stockpiled and Azura maxed out, it's time to move to the next stage, beast taming. Lin Yukai has finally served his purpose, and his time is up. Outside, the news broadcasts grim updates from the front lines. Some countries have lowered their recruiting age to 16. Even with his full Azura power, he knows he's still just one man. Lin Yukai arrives, all smiles, praising his efficiency. He tries to play the benevolent superior, offering him a shiny new official position as a reward. But our boy mutters something incoherent, which stuns him. Then smirks, casually asking Lin Yukai to bring Steel Wolves next time. The smugness is enough to make the old man choke on air. While Lin Yukai scrambles to hide his surprise, both men harbor their own thoughts. Lin plots to eventually get rid of this dangerous subordinate, while our boy silently delivers his verdict. Lin Yukai will be so rich, but he will die before ever spending it. That night, clad in his winter soldier gear, he stands under the moonlight. His tamed steel wolves let out a chilling howl. But he's not calling just his pack. His plan is to lure untamed steel wolves too. Browsing through his system, he notices he now meets the requirements to tame an unlimited number of them. Perfect timing. Meanwhile, Lin Yukai is being briefed by his bodyguard. The pack of wolves has entered his teleportation range. Excited to head home and de-stress, the old man orders them to charge forward. But just then, a thunderous sound shakes the ground. The bodyguard freezes, panic written all over his face. From the shadows, a beast tide of steel wolves bursts forth, flooding the land like a tsunami. Lin Yukai stares in disbelief. Why didn't the warning devices go off? He quickly orders a retreat, demanding to be teleported to safety. But then comes another blow. The beast tide stretches over 10 kilometers, while his spatial teleportation only covers 1. In short, he's trapped. His only option is to flee at top speed. And watching everything unfold, calm and cold, is our boy. His plan is working perfectly. Lin Yotsai's end and the rise of his beast army have officially begun. In the next chapter, the beast-taming skill finally activates. A strange power spreads out, washing over the pack of steel wolves. In an instant, the entire pack halts mid-charge, their eyes glowing faintly under the influence of the skill. But the cost is heavy. Every last source stone in the talent system is consumed in the process. Lin Yukai stares in shock. What he's witnessing can only belong to a true beast-tamer master. Yet no such figure has ever been reported in Yi City. His mind races, and he convinces himself the tamer must be some hidden master. Determined, he vows to curry favor with this mysterious figure. The taming completes, and the wolves stand ready. Only one command is issued: tear the entire convoy to pieces and leave nothing behind. The pack obeys instantly. They swarm the convoy, encircling it with terrifying speed. Panic erupts inside the vehicles. Soldiers assume the taming failed and open suppressive fire, bullets raining down on the wolves. But these beasts are relentless. One slams into Lin Yotsai's own vehicle, nearly flipping it on the spot. Sensing the danger, Lin Yukai orders his bodyguard to teleport them to safety. The guard acts quickly, and just before the vehicle topples completely, they vanish, only to reappear inside the very danger zone. With no choice, the bodyguard unleashes his spatial teleportation skill again. Space twists violently, and several wolves vanish, scattered to who knows where. Lin Yukai demands another jump, but the guard is already trembling, exhaustion setting in after just 2 uses of the skill. With dwindling strength, he teleports them somewhere safer. Unfortunately, safety is an illusion. Waiting ahead like a final boss, our boy calmly blocks their path. Lin Yukai and his guard freeze in shock, demanding the stranger reveal his identity. Slowly, the mask is removed. Their suspicions are confirmed. Our boy is the beast tamer. Lin Yukai rages, spitting accusations, but he doesn't bother denying it. Instead, he grabs Lin Yukai by the throat. He's had enough of this arrogant parasite. The movement is so fast that even the bodyguard fails to register it. Realizing he's hopelessly outmatched, the guard tries to escape with his boss. But he unleashes an Azura skill, Dragon Slayer. His power surges, tailored to counterspatial users. No dragon slaying involved, but the name alone screams finality. The bodyguard's eyes widen as his teleportation collapses before it can activate. No time for tantrums. In the blink of an eye, every bone in his hand is crushed, followed by a devastating punch that ending him completely. Lin Yukai trembles, his arrogance gone, begging for mercy. But mercy is never an option. The wolves close in, tearing him apart piece by piece until nothing remains. Just like that, the rotten apple is finally removed. Far away, inside the Super Ability Bureau of Yi City, a ripple of power is detected. Someone senses the surge of Azura aura, stronger than before, far too powerful to dismiss as coincidence. Su Lung's expression hardens. Without delay, she moves to report this development to the Bureau. After dealing with the trash Lin Yukai, it is time to push forward with the next phase of plans. First, Nanzhong rewards his loyal wolf companions with a firm pat on their heads before giving them a brand new command. Surprisingly, these wolves can actually hunt for source stones. With that in mind, he orders them to collect as many as possible. The old and new packs raise their heads and acknowledge the command with a united howl. The scene shifts to the logistics center. The lady who has been investigating Lin Yukai learns about his so-called death during a beast tide. She suspects the truth, but Nanzhong remains silent. In her heart, she wonders if he is the one behind it. His only response is that what he truly needs are mutant steel wolves. That indirect answer plants doubt in her mind. Could he actually control beasts? The thought shakes her, but Nanzhang silences the matter with a subtle gesture, showing that some things are better left hidden. She's left shocked. In this world, people only get one talent or skill, but for our boy, this man downloaded the premium DLC at birth. Regardless, the lady informs him that she has reported Lin Yotsai's corruption to the higher-ups. Action against his assets should be taken soon. As thanks, she invites Nanzhang out, even suggesting a coffee date. But he refuses without hesitation. This is no time for casual outings. He makes it clear there is another way she can help. Her face turns red in embarrassment, misinterpreting his words. But the truth is far more practical. What he needs from her is a steady supply of beasts, 10, even hundreds of thousands. Nanzhang keeps his priorities sharp, leaving no room for distractions. With the frontline situation worsening, the higher-ups waste no time making arrangements. The trial ground has turned into a brutal slaughterhouse, while Nanzhang's wolves hunt without pause. It does not take long before massive gains pile up. In only 2 days, he amasses over 1 million source stones and tames countless more steel wolves. Soon, the northern wilderness falls under his control, now guarded by more than 500,000 tamed steel wolves. With that, his strength rises to level 8. His focus then shifts to the Bone Plains, where level 6 wild steel yaks roam. He tames them as well, issuing the same command given to the wolves: secure the perimeter and never attack humans. The system confirms his progress. 1 million source stones in reserve, 500,000 wolves and yaks under control, and both the northern wilderness and Bone Plains firmly in his hands. Pushing further, Nanzhang arrives at Rift Canyon, where level 7 rampant apes dominate the land. These beasts stand on a whole different level, with powerful auras, unmatched speed, and brute strength. Still, they remain within the taming range of the system. But something goes wrong. The next moment, the system fails to register success. For the first time, Nanzhang's command does not take hold. His expression hardens in genuine confusion, because this time, taming has failed. Since the initial taming failed, Nanzhang switches tactics. He beats the beasts into submission before activating his taming skill again. Suddenly, the same thunderous sound echoes from deep inside the canyon. The truth becomes clear. The taming didn't fail at all. The interference came from a roar inside the cave. Changing plans instantly, Nanzhang activates Azura mode and charges toward the source of the sound. The rampant apes are fast and strong, but their awareness and combat sense are laughably low. Basically a skill issue. With ease, Nanzhang slips past them and reaches the cave without much trouble. Inside waits the true target, the boss. Towering 10 times larger than an ordinary ape, its presence alone presses down like a mountain. Without the power of Azura mode, Nanzhang wouldn't even be able to breathe, let alone stand. The aura it releases is proof. It must be level 8 or possibly higher. The boss fight begins in an instant. With a massive hand, the beast grabs him, nearly making Nanzhang its next snack. Reacting swiftly, he unleashes Azura Fury Blade, slicing himself free. The enraged boss roars and slams down its second attack, intent on smashing him into paste. Nanzhang tunnels through the ground like a mole, reappearing behind the giant ape. Now both sides are furious. The boss, irritated beyond reason, and Nanzhang, who decides to stop holding back. If taming is off the table, then this monster is getting chopped into pieces. His body flares with killing intent as he unleashes his ultimate Azura skill. Hell on Earth. At this point, it's game over for the giant ape. Meanwhile, back at the Super Ability Bureau, 2 female agents are on surveillance duty, tasked with monitoring Nanzhang. One complains about the boring work, but Su Lung, the Azura perception user, brushes it off. She trusts her senses too much to believe they're wrong. Their conversation shifts when her companion teases her, calling her big sister just because her chest is larger, despite being the same age. Su Lung snaps back, refusing the title, while her friend insists it's better than calling her auntie. Their playful bickering fades quickly when Su Lung detects something alarming. A massive wave of Azura aura erupts from Rift Canyon. With some hesitation, her friend activates her divine perception to confirm the situation and file a quick report. But what she sees leaves her stunned. Inside the canyon, Nanzhong is not just fighting the boss. He is toying with it, using the giant ape like a practice dummy. Even more terrifying, his appearance twists into something demonic, radiating the aura of a creature whose only purpose is destruction. The sight overwhelms her. She stumbles backward in fear. Su Lung rushes to her side and demands to know what she saw. But the traumatized girl can barely form words. She whispers the only truth she can manage, an absolute monster. Meanwhile, Nanzhong is actually enjoying himself in the canyon, leaving the boss ape barely alive. Yet even in that state, the beast refuses to go down quietly. If the fight drags on, the boss might die for real, and that would be a waste. Taking the initiative, Nanzhong proposes an alliance. To his surprise, the boss not only understands but agrees. For a moment, the scene feels straight out of Naruto, beating each other half to death, only to shake hands at the end. Deactivating Azura mode, Nanzhong issues his command. From this moment on, the apes follow their boss. Their duty is clear. Harvest source stones, protect the land, and never attack humans. Just like that, 1,000,000 apes fall under his control, securing Rift Canyon. His beast army expansion speed is broken. Back at the Special Ability Bureau, Su Lung discusses the situation with her partner. She has sensed another aura, different from Nanzhang's Azura, yet equal in strength. She suspects both come from the same person, but that should be impossible. After all, in this world, a person can only awaken one talent and one skill. Her partner raises the same doubt. Still, Su Lung has no choice but to file the report. The Bureau doesn't just monitor, it also ranks awakeners by strength. At present, Nanzhong sits in 10th place, shrouded in mystery as the unknown Azura user. Public opinion buzzes around his ranking. One point stands out. Azura users usually go insane, growing stronger the more they kill. People whisper if the same fate awaits him. Meanwhile, Nanzhong finishes his quota at the trial ground. Officer Xiao Lu hands him his phone, carrying grim news. The 8th defense line has fallen. The country now calls on retired veterans to return to service. The timeline is moving faster than expected, and Nanzhong can't help but think of his father. Almost on cue, his phone buzzes. A message from his dad invites him home for a family meal. At his family home, a reporter waits in the living room, eager to interview his father, a retired veteran, about the new veteran recall policy. After wrapping up in the kitchen, the old man steps out to meet them. The first question is simple. What are his thoughts on the policy? He answers briefly, stating that it is his duty to serve his country. Then the female reporter shifts the topic, targeting Nanzhang's refusal to join the military, and asks for his opinion. The old man pauses, staring at the reporter. It's clear she's trying to humiliate his son. Before he can respond, the rest of the family walks in. Nanzhang's mother is surprised to find her husband in the middle of an interview. He confirms it with a smile and takes the chance to introduce his family. His wife works at another logistics center. His daughter has just returned from deployment as a medic. And then there's Nanzhong, the so-called black sheep who never seems to fit in. But here comes the twist. Despite Nanzhong refusing to enlist at the front lines, his father voices full support. Nanzhong silently shakes his head at the words. As expected, the reporter tries to push further, digging into matters that aren't her business. This time, the old man raises his voice. His son may not wear the uniform, but he has been risking his life at the trial ground, killing beasts nonstop. Those supplies are what keep the front lines alive, and it's all thanks to him. He questions the reporter directly, demanding what kind of message they intend to spread. To make matters worse for the reporter, Nanzhang's sister joins the defense, roasting her without mercy. Even his mother joins in. What was supposed to be a routine interview quickly spirals into a family-wide roast session. That's family for you, covering each other when it counts. Nanzhong, for once, is left speechless. But then, in a move no one saw coming, he declares his desire to enlist alongside his father. Just like that, the black sheep makes a decision that shocks them all. Nanzhong chooses to leave, stunning both his mother and sister. His mother wonders what could be so important that he would walk away from a family dinner. But his father stops her, reminding her that Nanzhong has always been the quiet type since childhood. The fact that he even showed up at all is already a rare blessing. With his decision to adjust plans for the front lines, it's time to accelerate everything. That very day, Nanzhong heads straight for the sunken woods with one goal: tame elephants. Right on cue, the massive beasts make their appearance. An elephant charges with surprising speed, but Nanzhong counters immediately, leaping into the air. He lands cleanly on its head and tames it in an instant. Just like the others, it receives the same instructions: protect the territory, harvest source stones, and never attack humans. The system notification rings out: successfully tamed 1 million war elephants. Along with it comes the unlocking of his third talent, the formation tree. Simply put, this new ability allows him to create powerful battle formations. Even better, it works just like his beast taming talent, fueled by source stones and stackable without limit. The scene shifts back to the trial ground. After gathering enough source stones, Nanzhong tests the new skill. Clearing the first stage easily, he steps into the second, closes his eyes, and focuses. His first formation activates. 1,000 swords of pure aura manifest around him. The 1,000-sword formation erupts like a hurricane. At first, the damage is underwhelming. So, Nanzhong stacks it higher, 2,000 swords. This time, the battlefield transforms into a storm of steel. Beasts are shredded endlessly, cut down without him lifting a finger. An hour later, the talent upgrades to level 2, unlocking 2 additional formations. The only drawback: the cost rises from 10 source stones to 20 per use. Still, Nanzhong finds himself in an almost leisurely state. The formations do the slaughtering for him, boosting efficiency and speed. He could practically set it and walk away. Now, the time has finally come. The front lines await. What the others don't realize is that Nanzhong has been working harder than a workaholic this whole time. Sister Li, still fuming over the reporters, blames them for the added stress. Officer Xiao Lu and Sister Wang are left confused by her outrage until Sister Li flashes her phone. She stayed up all night battling trolls in the comment section, and her replies were so savage that even Gen Z would salute her. Honestly, she's a menace in the best way. Officer Xiao Lu grows furious at the trolls, her anger bubbling. But before the argument can heat further, Nanzhong makes his entrance. Calmly, he announces that he is handing everything over. Confusion flickers across their faces until the realization finally dawns. Meanwhile, Nanzhong receives a letter from his father. To his surprise, it reveals that both his father and sister have already been deployed directly to the battlefield. Even more shocking, his father already knows that his son is the mysterious Azura climbing the rankings. But true to his nature, his father doesn't attempt to stop him. Instead, he leaves behind what feels like final words: take care of his mother, ignore the noise of public opinion, and never abandon his path halfway. The group worries about his decision. They argue that if Nanzhong leaves, the frontline soldiers may starve without his support. After all, he alone is keeping the food supply flowing. But Sister Li steps forward with surprising confidence, volunteering to take over the battle against the trolls online. She declares she will handle those pests herself. In response, Nanzhong simply accepts their concern, but deep down, his father's words shift his plans once again. Officer Xiao Lu grows puzzled when Nanzhong announces his intent to work as an engineer at the 5th Defense Line. They wonder why he would suddenly take such a role, but Nanzhong gives no explanation, only a calm assurance that he will continue handling the slaughter of mutant beasts. Leaving the city behind, Nanzhong reflects on his father's advice. He realizes he almost made a fatal mistake by rushing to the front lines too soon. The invaders have already begun deploying Xenos, and because they are not carbon-based, killing them yields no source stones. Worse still, the invaders will only send increasingly powerful forces, each stronger than the last. In short, fighting at the front lines is a waste of time. To truly win, he must turn the fifth line into humanity's final stand against the 10,000 races. 3 days later, construction at the fifth defense line begins. The senior engineer marvels at Nanjang's designs, impressed by his skill as an architecture major. On the surface, the layout makes it nearly impossible for tanks to break through. But in truth, the tank defenses are nothing more than a smokescreen. His real plan hides in the formations. Layer by layer, Nanjang deploys formation ranges across kilometers. As his abilities advance to level 3, he unlocks new formations, though they now cost 30 source stones per use. Even so, level 2 and 3 formations are powerful enough to slow down lower-class Xenos. For now, he focuses on expansion, saving stones for the next breakthrough. The following day, the senior engineer approaches him with troubling news. Public voices grow louder, demanding the abandonment of Nanjang's plan. Many believe offense is the best defense, and pressure is rising. If unrest continues, the engineer fears the entire project could collapse. Nanjang reassures him to continue construction and promises to create an even better design. The engineer nods, aware that Nanjang's trap-based system is clever, but still worries about practicality. That's when inspiration strikes. Nanjang revises his blueprint once again. Though the formation he envisions is not yet unlocked, he begins laying the groundwork. The engineer surveys the adjustments in confusion, so Nanjang spells it out. The entire wall must be electrified, with moats filled with water and crude oil. When the Xenos attempt to breach, they will be met first with high-voltage shocks, then engulfed in flames. The water, strangely enough, is part of the safety mechanism. The plan is ingenious, but this is only the beginning. Once he unlocks the command elemental rune formation, the true nightmare for the invaders will begin. That night, Nanjang gathers source stones from his tame companions. The effort pays off. His formation talent advances to level 4. In the process of spamming formations, however, he suddenly senses a strange presence. A familiar aura presses in. His eyes widen. It's a Xenos. But not just any Xenos, an assassin. And alongside it, another aura flickers, undeniably human. The realization strikes like thunder. The invaders have already sent assassination units far earlier than expected. The scene shifts deep into the mountains to the hidden Chu clan. At this moment, our boy is busy setting up his formations. Meanwhile, an elder makes his usual patrol when a massive explosion suddenly shakes the area. His shock only grows when he sees Chu Xingui emerge from seclusion, 2 years earlier than expected. Xingui was supposed to remain in isolation for 12 years, yet he steps out at the 10th. Chu Xingui, the 307th genius of the Chu clan, reveals the truth. He sensed a powerful aura that accelerated his comprehension and forced a breakthrough, leading him to exit early. The Grand Elder is confused, noting that these mountains are devoid of aura. Xingui insists this makes the matter even more significant. Determined to trace the source, he ignores the Elder's warning about the lurking Xenos. For him, danger is inevitable in the current state of the world. Without hesitation, he activates his flying skill and soars toward the aura's location. Half an hour later, Chu Xingui arrives and finds multiple complex formations spread across the land. The level of mastery is unheard of in the entire nation. Just as he studies the area, his senses flare. A Xenos assassin, codenamed Slaughter Iron, launches a surprise strike. Xingui narrowly dodges and lands at a distance, but 2 more Xenos emerge immediately after. Suspicion rises. For them to deploy 2 elites right as he leaves seclusion, it can only mean the invaders have been watching the Chu clan closely. Regardless, both enemies attack together. Xingui responds instantly, summoning a domain expansion and trapping the assassins inside a formation barrier. Flames surge as he calls forth the blazing flame azure spirit, clashing with the intruders head-on. At the same time, our boy races desperately toward the battlefield, frustrated by the constant shifts in the timeline. Originally, geniuses like Xingui were meant to appear 12 years after the war began, giving humanity 8 years of hope before their eventual defeat in the 20th year. For the plan to work, these prodigies must remain alive. But the assassins prove overwhelming. Xingui's Azure Spirit Sword deals no damage, while the relentless battle drains his strength. Eventually, the Xenos break free from his barrier. Facing defeat, Xingui resolves to take at least one enemy down with him. Before he can act, another massive explosion erupts. Our boy arrives just in time, stopping Xingui from sacrificing himself. At that moment, Xingui realizes the powerful aura he sensed all along was coming from him. With no time to waste, our boy forms a quick strategy to handle the assassins. Xingui understands and lends his support while the boy takes the lead. He immediately activates a level 3 Earth Spikes formation, though it inflicts no damage. As expected, instead of stopping, he layers the formation, stacking it 50,000 times, then fuses it with a Frostbite formation. The outcome is monstrous. A mountain of ice and stone rises. Xingui stares in awe and disbelief. The formation before him surpasses anything he has ever witnessed. Combined with the boy's unorthodox fighting style, unlike any ancient technique, it leaves him wondering just who this mysterious figure truly is. As a result of lowering his guard, Chu Xingui gives the Xenos assassin the opening he needs. The strike sends him crashing violently into the ground. At that moment, our boy activates Azura, landing a direct blow to the enemy's face. Chu Xingui watches in stunned amazement, realizing the truth. This mysterious figure before him is none other than the Azura user ranked 10th. While Xingui reels in shock, our boy's thoughts run deep. Ending the Xenos now would be simple, but allowing Xingui to face danger might give him valuable combat experience. Despite his high potential, Xingui is still immature. A dangerous thought crosses his mind. Amplification formation. Approaching Xingui, he inscribes a rune, hoping the formation can be applied to people just as it works on areas. Without hesitation, he activates it, jumping straight to tenfold amplification. The result is immediate. Xingui writhes in agony, unleashing a piercing scream that shakes the battlefield. His system flashes a warning. Tenfold is the absolute limit for humans. Any further, and Xingui might die. Soon after, the genius collapses, barely conscious. But the battle isn't over. The Xenos' threat remains. Realizing training can no longer continue here, our boy decides to end it himself. Yet in the very next moment, he freezes. Thanks to him, Chu Xingui has awakened an upgrade. A new, stronger formation traps the Xenos in place. At the same time, the second assassin breaks free of the earlier restraint. This time, our boy escalates. Lightning formations roar to life, powered by more than 70,000 layers. Survival is no longer an option for the invaders. In the blink of an eye, both assassins are annihilated. The outcome impresses him. But before the dust settles, Chu Xingui drops to one knee, addressing him as a senior. He swears loyalty and promises the full support of the Chu clan. Despite attempts to stop him, Xingui continues, dropping one revelation after another. He identifies him as the Azura user, noting the mask is proof he wishes to remain hidden. He deduces the formations spotted earlier are preparations for the 5th defense line, intended as humanity's last stand against the invaders. The revelations don't stop. Xingui suddenly mentions that the mysterious expert's name begins with the letter N. His reasoning is sharp, and our boy's expression confirms the suspicion. The Azura user's specialty in killing, combined with his connection to the trial grounds, leaves no room for doubt. He even reveals that volunteering for the 5th defense line wasn't just formation work, but a cover to conceal his true identity as the Azura expert. The fact he knows this, yet remains humble, is shocking. It leaves our boy wondering, was Xingui spying on him? If he was in seclusion, how does he know so much? As if reading his thoughts, Xingui casually explains he had access to the internet during seclusion. Yes, he has Wi-Fi during seclusion. Honestly, the real mystery here is his browsing history. Moving forward, Xingui pledges to take his clan to the 7th defense line, intending to buy him time. With only limited information and one encounter, the genius has already pieced together so much. Prodigies truly live up to their title. Our boy silently acknowledges his sharp analysis and warns him to be careful, since the success of the plan depends on him. Before more words are exchanged, Xingui understands the unspoken wish: protect his father and sister. That thought alone brings some relief. Since the Chu clan will be moving together, our boy offers to amplify their strength. Along the way, he learns that Xingui has a younger sister gifted with teleportation abilities. News soon spreads across the nation. Reports declare the rise of a new Chu clan prodigy, alongside the appearance of a mysterious formation master. The broadcast ends with Xingui leading his clan to the 7th line in support. Yi City buzzes with the revelation. But while the world celebrates, our boy feels an unexpected burden. Xingui has left his younger sister, Chu Tian, in his care, essentially asking him to babysit. Two onlookers grow irritated at the scene, but the little girl's expression shifts instantly before she suddenly teleports them both into a sewer. Trouble has officially arrived. Despite her mischievous nature, Chu Tian's ranking shocks him. She holds the 12th position on the Bureau's list. Surprisingly, he finds her personality amusing, and her teleportation ability could prove invaluable in the battles to come. And at long last, the moment arrives. His 4th hidden talent, necromancy, awakens. The path forward is clear. The Shadow Monarch begins his rise. The very first summoning begins, and it is none other than one of the most pivotal figures in Chinese history, the great emperor himself. Earlier that same day, our boy had spoken with a military investigator lady. She raised serious concerns. Apparently, he demanded sole authorization over the entire logistics and other trial grounds. The request left her stunned. Even if it were possible, the workload would be outrageously difficult for one person. Yet, he gave no explanation. He simply left her with the task, his departing figure casting more confusion. She could sense his growing strength, but he showed no interest in proving himself at the front lines. The truth was simple. He needed an outrageous amount of source stones. Full control of the trial grounds was the only way to achieve it. With Chu Tian's teleportation ability, the process would become far easier. Soon after, he reunited with his wolf companions and secured over 20 million source stones. With necromancy at level 1 and a single summoning costing 1 million stones, the time had come. He signaled to Chu Tan, ordering her to teleport them to the ancient emperor's mausoleum, 100 kilometers away. She obeyed instantly, activating her ability and vanishing along with him, leaving the wolves stunned in place. On the journey, he made an important discovery. Chu Tian's teleportation range was limited to 100 kilometers, even after her recent enhancement. Still, it was enough. After what felt like an eternity, they arrived at the mausoleum. He prepared to tell Chu Tian to find a safe place to hide, but she had already vanished. Clearly, she was just as clever as her brother. Turning to the ancient terrain before him, our boy activated necromancy. From the depths of history, the spirit of the great Qin dynasty was called forth. The next sight widened his eyes in shock. Answering his summons stood the first emperor himself, Qin Ingzheng. Even after 1,000 years, the emperor's presence radiated command and authority. Yet irritation marked his expression at having his eternal rest disturbed. Respect filled our boy's tone as he spoke, but his demand only fueled the emperor's anger. The audacity of a child demanding control of his army was an insult. Enraged, Emperor Qin struck, his power crashing forward. Our boy reacted too slowly, realizing he needed to prove his worth. At once, he activated Azura, but instead of approval, This only further incensed the emperor. To him, it was laughable. A mere child sought to control his legions. Undeterred, our boy warned him not to judge a book by its cover. He unleashed one of his strongest skills, Azura Dragon Slayer. The emperor scoffed. To him, this was nothing but a child's trick. If the boy wanted to see a dragon, then he would show him the true might of one. Instantly, a dragon formed from pure aura roared into existence and descended upon him. In response, our boy countered with another skill, Azura Demon Slayer. Yet against the emperor's might, the attack did nothing. Forced to push further, he summoned the full power of his Azura, preparing to face the dragon head-on. The emperor scoffed again, dismissing it as a pathetic attempt. But when he met the boy's defiant expression, something shifted. Against all odds, the mighty dragon fell. For the first time, Emperor Qin faltered. His mind raced to make sense of what had just occurred. And before he could recover, our boy appeared directly before him, asking forgiveness even as he struck at the emperor's Manhwa. Shock and disbelief rippled through the emperor. The boy showed no intent to stop. At last, the first emperor lowered his pride and humbled himself. Ready for a true conversation, Emperor Qin acknowledged that he had dominated for millennia. But before lending his legendary army, he demanded one thing. He must hear the full story. After the briefing, Emperor Qin hands our boy the tiger tally, an ancient Chinese symbol of ultimate authority. Following the emperor's command, he calls forth the warriors of the Qin dynasty, rallying them to rise and defend their homeland. In that instant, more than 10 million undead awaken. The system registers his necromancy, leveling up to rank 3. These undead regenerate endlessly and can only be slain under special conditions. At the same time, our boy unlocks his final talent, Element Command Magic. The system reveals his title as a Forbidden Spellcaster, level 1. This ability, powered by Source Stones, works like formation magic, but instead of relying on formations, it draws energy directly from heaven and earth to create devastating spells. Before he can process this, the invaders descend once again. This time, they send assassins, targeting 3 prodigies. Alone, he cannot protect them all. Emperor Qin lets out the faintest smirk before summoning his 2 most trusted warriors. It is finally time for them to return to their prime. Sensing danger from 2 directions, our boy takes the west while entrusting the east to Emperor Qin. The scene shifts eastward. The invaders unleash their full force against Su Chang'e of the Su clan. His power allows him to manipulate enemies using threads. Yet even so, he finds himself overwhelmed. When defeat seems inevitable, a sharp blade cuts through the enemy's attack. Shock spreads across Su Chang'e's face as Emperor Qin steps in to protect him, urging him to stand firm. Realizing his mistake, Su Chang'e bows in respect. With his homeland under threat and his descendants in peril, Emperor Qin issues the order to slaughter. From this point on, the invaders on the eastern side are as good as finished. Meanwhile, on the western front, the battle intensifies. The prodigies here are twin siblings from the Qin clan. In desperation, the brother sacrifices himself to create an escape route for his sister. But instead of fleeing, she hesitates, struggling with her decision. A Xeno seizes the opportunity, striking at the distracted brother. In shock, the sister throws herself forward to shield him. Rage consumes the brother instantly. But before tragedy can unfold, both enemies are teleported away, dragged by Chu Tian under our boy's command. The twins stare in confusion, unable to comprehend what just happened. Our boy remains silent. Instead, he channels power into their bodies, amplifying their strength to the point of agony. When the process is complete, he orders the siblings to hold off half of the invaders. As for him, it is time to unleash the true might of forbidden magic. Our boy unleashes forbidden lightning magic, amplifying its power 100-fold. Thunder roars across the battlefield, lightning tearing through the Xenos and leaving them scorched beyond recognition. The system instantly registers his advancement to level 2. Watching this overwhelming display, the Qin siblings recall his earlier remark about leaving some. Their doubts grow stronger. He simply puts on his mask and admits he got carried away. Even he didn't expect the forbidden skill to be so devastating. The siblings continue their fight, successfully wiping out the remaining enemies, except for one Xeno attempting to escape. Our boy answers with another forbidden spell, this time of Earth, magnified 50-fold. To his surprise, the ground itself erupts violently, vaporizing the Xeno's body beyond recovery. The little one stares wide-eyed at the aftermath, comparing it to killing a mosquito with a shotgun. Even the twins are left frozen, struggling to process the destruction. Before he can say anything, both siblings drop to their knees, voices ringing with gratitude. Our boy is slightly taken aback by this ancient clan custom, yet the twins show nothing but excitement as they await his next orders. When he asks if they know his identity, both exchange confused looks and apologize for not asking earlier. Clearly, amplification of power doesn't extend to brain cells, though in his silence, he has basically called them stupid in the most polite way possible. At that moment, Emperor Qin arrives with Su Chang'e. He clarifies that it was our boy who saved Su Chang'e's life. Relief flickers beneath the mask. At least not every ancient clan genius shows thanks by kneeling dramatically. With everyone gathered, our boy instructs them to prepare their clans for amplification. Su Chang'e, however, appears confused. Before he can voice his confusion, our boy activates the skill, flooding Su Chang'e with unbearable energy that leaves him writhing in pain. The Qin brother quickly asks if there are any other demands. This makes our boy consider sending them straight to the front lines. But their families lack the influence and strength of the Chu clan, and sending them too early could spell disaster. Just as he prepares to speak, Su Chang'e interrupts. He questions the mask, claiming it shows a lack of trust. He points out that our boy commands legions of undead for the sake of the world, yet asks nothing from those around him. He wonders if this is his way of saying they are useless, or that he prefers to fight alone. To their shock, our boy agrees. He orders them and their clans to head to the front lines. If they survive, they should meet him again at the 5th line. After receiving their acknowledgement, he hands the tiger tally to Su Chang'e, entrusting him with command of the army. Emperor Qin silently observes this action, offering an approving look that carries the weight of recognition. He senses limitless potential in our boy. Later, the news spreads across the land. Prodigies who had been in seclusion suddenly emerge, rushing to the front lines. Some, however, meet their end at the hands of assassins. Our boy sighs at the troubling turn of events. The prodigies are awakening far earlier than expected, and their untimely deaths threaten to derail his plan. Determined, he instructs Chu Tian to prepare. He then sets his sights on the northern wilderness, intending to awaken the remaining ancient prodigies himself. By doing so, he plans to draw every assassin directly to him and wipe them all out in one decisive strike. If you made it this far and feel the video is worth it, don't forget to show some love by hitting the like and subscribe buttons. Until the next recap,